Good afternoon. What a wonderful day it is to be in the presence of God and to share with you on today. Let me just share with you, if I can, from this thought. God hasn't moved. God hasn't moved. I want to just jump into Psalm 51, verse 10a, where David writes, "Create in me a clean heart." Create in me a clean heart. I want to stop right there. I just want to stop there and deal with David imploring God to create in him a clean heart. Well, we are all familiar, I believe, with Psalm 51. Maybe not Psalm 51, but maybe what caused David to write Psalm 51. You do know the story of David and Bathsheba. You do know that David hooked up with someone else's wife. You do know that in the hookup, she got pregnant. You do know that, right? You do know that to try to cover up what he did, he had her husband Uriah killed. What drama? What drama? When David realized what he really did, I mean, the depth of what he really did, he writes Psalm 51. And again, he says, "Create in me a clean heart." I took a look at those last two words of 51 verse 10a, those 6 words, word 5 and 6. A pure heart is what David was really suggesting. Heart in the Hebrew is lev. And that word heart is not that organ that beats inside of your chest and pumps blood throughout your entire body. No, the ancient Egyptians had a greater knowledge of what one's heart actually is. And what the heart is one's mind. It's one's consciousness. And so what David is actually asking God to do is to create in him a pure consciousness, a pure mind, so that his mind no longer thinks on the lower things of life, or what one writer would suggest, plucking things from the lower fruits of the tree, but that he would elevate himself, cultivate himself in such a way that his mind would trust God, completely trust God in everything that he did. Here we are in the Lenten season. We had Ash Wednesday on yesterday, and on Tuesday was Shrove Tuesday, and that's the day that we make up in our mind exactly what we are going to deal with in our lives, to ask God to work with on that Ash Wednesday when we come together, that season of penitential preparation as we move close to Resurrection Sunday morning. And so we fast during this Lenten season. We fast not just for the purpose of giving up food or for the purpose of giving up something that draws our attention. We give it up because we want to draw closer to God. We want life to have more meaning for us, that God has magnificently created us as a masterpiece in God's own image for a particular reason, and that is to be everything that God has destined and developed us to be. But in order to do that or to accomplish that goal, we have to draw closer to God. And what better season to do that than this Lenten season? And so I know that you've decided that you're going to give up something that will help you draw closer to God. Maybe you're going to give up a specific type of food. Maybe you're going to give up television. Maybe you're going to give up social media. You're going to give up something to help you draw closer to God. Listen to this. Remember, we're giving up something to draw closer to God. Closer to God, so that we can be more effective in our everyday lives, in our everyday walk with God. The truth is, many of us are just like David in some instances. We have done some stuff that we would not want anybody to know about. Now, there are some things that people know about, but check this out. There are also some things that are only between you and God that you are taking to your grave. But you had to go to God and you had to ask God to create in you a clean, a pure mind for the purpose of elevating yourself to a higher place, a higher position, so that you are no longer grasping once again those things that we call the lower fruits of life, materialistic things, those things that cause us to fall short of the glory of God. Wow. It's a story told of an old farm couple. They were riding through the countryside. I mean, just having a good time, enjoying the summer breeze. The wife looked over at her husband and said, honey, how come we don't sit close to each other anymore when we're driving together? How come we don't sit up underneath each other like we used to? Remember how we used to do that? The husband looked over at his wife and he said to her, he said, honey, I haven't moved. I haven't moved. When we find ourselves as believers far away from God, I want you to know this. It's not because God has moved. It's because we have moved. What am I saying today? If you want to get closer to God, I mean really up underneath God like you used to be, then this is what I need you to do. I need you to look at the Psalm of David. I want you to look at chapter 51. I want you to look at verse number 10a. I want you to look at word 5 and 6 and say, Lord, create in me a pure heart, mind, that I might trust in you more, that it may draw me closer to you, that I might be everything that you called me to be. Listen, God is not far from us. We are far from God. And I just shared a word with you today that will help you draw closer to God so that you can trust God more. And once again, God can help you to become everything that God has destined you to be. God bless you, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you again on next week. Have a blessed week and enjoy this Lenten season as you are drawing closer to God.